Have you ever looked through an old family recipe box and realized it holds more than just family meals? It holds your family history. In this video, I'll show you how I turned my mother's favorite recipes into a family cookbook and how you can too to preserve your own culinary heritage. Hey there, if we haven't met before, I'm Lisa with Are You My Cousin, and this YouTube channel is designed to help you find your ancestors, grow your family tree, but not be overwhelmed in the process. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, you're in the right place. Today's video is sponsored by Storied.com, and I'll be sharing with you a little bit more about them as we go through the cookbook process. I've often said that old family photographs are the perfect conversation starters when it comes to family history, when you're trying to find those family stories and get people just talking. I'm going to have to revise that and add that, family recipes are also perfect conversation starters as well. Because whether you're trying to recreate your grandmother's cornbread recipe, or you're just thumbing through her recipe box, recipes and food get people talking. Now, after months of saying that I was going to create a family cookbook from my mother's recipe boxes, I have finally done it. And while I expected to have a lovely cookbook at the end of the process, which I absolutely do, and which I'll show you in just a little bit, I actually found much more in those recipe boxes. I found those favorite recipes, hers and mine. And the funny thing is, they are the ones that had the most stains on them. I found recipe cards in there written in my grandmother's handwriting. And I also, as I started to go through those recipe cards, I realized that I was actually getting a glimpse of their personalities, their personal taste from those notes that they would write in the margin, from the changes to a recipe they made, or notes about where the recipe came from. These were all telling me things about their personalities, their likes and their dislikes. I don't think I can get that information from any other type of genealogy document out there. So this is really a crucial piece of family history that I think many of us overlook. Now, the hardest part I had when it came to this project of creating a family cookbook was really deciding which recipes to include. Now, my mom had 2 full recipe boxes of recipe cards, plus an extra notebook. So there were a lot of recipes that I had to choose from. So I started pulling recipes out that had probably the most memories for me, ones that I knew that were family favorites of my sibling, of my extended family, things that would be taken to a family gathering, an extended family gathering. So I started pulling those together. And then once I had the stack of recipes that I wanted to include, I actually scanned those. So I created a digital image of those. Obviously, I wanted to preserve each of the recipes digitally so that, heaven forbid, something happens to the recipe boxes, I've got copies of the recipes, as well as the image of that original recipe card. Now, here's where I got a little creative, and that is I actually used Claude, which is my current AI platform of choice, to actually transcribe the photographs, the recipes in those photographs. Now, I was amazed at how accurate the transcription was. It was not perfect. It did require proofreading, and I absolutely did proofread each of the transcriptions it gave me for each of the recipe cards. But each one probably just needed some minor edits, and it saved me a tremendous amount of time when it came to transcribing each of these recipes. Now, once all that was done, once I had decided which recipes to use, once I had scanned them and transcribed each of them, then I was ready to actually start the process of creating this family cookbook. And that's actually where I turned to Storied. Now, I chose Storied to create my family cookbook for a couple of reasons. As a platform, they are dedicated to telling individual stories and capturing those family history stories that make our ancestors and our own family history very unique. I also chose them because when it comes to creating this cookbook, it's an easy and intuitive platform to use. I did not want something that required a large learning curve. I just don't have the time for that. And the platform allows me to easily add the recipe. It allows me to upload photographs, which I can show you. I'll show you in just a moment, multiple photographs, and add any notes and addendums that I wanted to add. So I did choose to use them for this project of mine, and I'm really excited that I did. So I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you a bit of the process of creating this cookbook and just show you really how easy and intuitive it actually is. And then I'm going to actually show you the reveal. I'm going to reveal my cookbook that I created. I'm super excited to do this for you guys. So you'll also get a glimpse at my grandmother's favorite lemon meringue pie, which is delicious, by the way. So we're over here in Storied, and I want to show you how to add a recipe. So in this case, we're adding my grandmother's lemon meringue pie. And at the beginning, I can add a photograph. I can add really any number of photographs that I want to add.
up to 100, but only 2 are going to actually be used in the book. So I'm actually going to go in and show you how I added the photographs. And so you can see this digital book has lots of stains on it, which is fabulous, I think. And then I'm going to write a little bit about the recipe background down here. This is from my grandmother, Cecil White Howard's one of the cookbook that she had. It was one of her favorites. It was one of all of our favorites, quite frankly. And it was absolutely delicious. So you've got full kind of word processing type of features here. You can make things bold, you can italicize them, but you can type in exactly what it is you want. And so I tended to, mine are fairly brief, but that's still a little bit of my personality. So that's perfectly fine to do it there, but to tell the story that you know there. Now, as you notice, as I put this in, one of the things that you'll notice is that I put a photograph of the recipe card or the recipe book as opposed to the picture of the pie. Well, that's because, well, I don't have any pictures of the pie. It was actually a really favorite pie, but because our family didn't really take a lot of photographs of food, didn't have that, not like now. All right, so I've got that recipe background where I want it to be. I can scroll down. You can see next I'm going to go ahead and add in the ingredients. So I have already transcribed this recipe. I'm just going to copy and paste it over here. I do find that a little bit easier to transcribe it somewhere else and copy and paste in. Needs a little bit of formatting help, so that's pretty easy to do. Again, just kind of fixing all my formatting there. You can see it's a really simple recipe here. Coming down here, I can add other things as well. So I want to add the directions, like how to actually, put this pie together. So I add that in again. I copy and pasted this in from my transcription, and I fixed a little bit of the formatting there. If you want, you can add things like how many people it serves, where the recipe originated. So you can add this type of information in if you want, if you have it. And if not, well, that's okay too. Not everybody has that. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. And whose recipe is this? So basically, I am tagging this to my grandmother in my family tree here at Storied. And I'm going to put what category that this was. So it was recipes. And then I'm going to keep this at public viewing. And I'm done. And so once that's done, my story and the recipe story has been created. I can copy a link and share it. I've got other options for sharing it as well with that. So those are there as well. If you want to just take a peek at what it looks like all done up here in the story and this is before I put it in the recipe book.
So I added all of the recipes in that manner. And then once I had all the recipes ready to go, I was actually able to start and design my cover for my cookbook and then preview the cookbook as a whole. So take a look. I confess, I left this till the last. You don't have to, but I left it till the last because I wasn't really sure what I wanted it to look like. And so I was hoping to gain some inspiration as I put the recipes together and kind of worked with the recipes and memories so that then I would be able to create a cover for this recipe book that I really enjoyed and felt good about it. So here we are over here. I'm going to edit my project. I'm going to add in the name. So this is the name. You can see the title here where I popped it in there and it comes out here on the left. Oh, excuse me, on the right. I didn't really have a subtitle, but I did want to add in a foreword. So I already have one that I've typed up and copied here. I'll put in. There is an 800 character limit on this, so you will need to kind of work within that. So I added that and kind of like this creamy background color. I wasn't sure if I was going to go with a blue background, but I ended up going with this tan. And the reason I did is because I wanted to add an image. So I'm going to hit change image. I'm going to hit upload new. And I'm going to grab that real quick. And this is the photograph I'm going to use for the front cover of the recipe book. It's a picture of my mom when she was young. And I think I pretty much like where it is. I mean, I can enlarge it. I can shift it around a little bit if I want to. Maybe I'll center it a little bit more. There we go. Let's go with that. And hit save. And then I can see what it looks like over here. Obviously, on the right, I can see, is it centered? Is it where I want it to be? So I might actually shift it over just a wee bit here. And I'm going to see here. A little more now. Okay. That might be a little bit better. So we're going to save that. Yeah. I like that. It's just a little tweak, but I liked it better. And so everything looks good there for me. So I'm going to hit save on that. So that was actually easier than I thought. I do struggle sometimes trying to figure out what those are going to look like. So what I want to do at this point, now that I have my cover made, is I want to go in and I want to actually preview my book and see what it looks like. So it does take a few minutes once you hit that preview for it to generate the PDF preview for your book. So I just give it time to do that. This is really going to depend a little bit too on the size of the book, how long your book is going to be. So it doesn't take too long, but it does take a few minutes to do. So you just have to sit and be patient. Okay, so my book is ready to preview. So this is the title page. This is the inside. This is the interior, not of the exterior. So I can scroll through, see how everything lines up. I can look and see this is the introduction. And so I like that. I actually don't like the way the formatting is on this, so I will go back in and fix that, try to fix that formatting there. And then we have the table of contents, and let me just scroll right through our recipes, guys. Now I have already done this and previewed and made the edits that I wanted to make when it came to these recipes. So I won't spend too much time here, but you can see I just scroll right through. I can see all the way to the interior of this book, each page, how things are laid out, what it looks like, and all the way to the end. And once all that was done, I was ready to order my cookbook and just wait for it to get printed. Okay, guys, it's time for the big reveal. My cookbook is here. I'm ready to open it, so I'm super excited to see how it turned out. And here we have it. This is my cookbook. I'm so excited to see it. So let's look through it. Ah, perfect. See? Memories. Let's see what we can find in here. Okay, guys, this is so cool. It's got the table of contents. Let me find that lemon meringue. Guys, this is really our cereal mix. This is always made around Christmas time. No, it's not really a Christmas recipe, but hey, my mother always made it around Christmas time, so that's what we associate it with. Let's see if I can find that recipe. Oh, here's another really fabulous one. This one's our nutty chicken. Peanut butter and chicken goes really well together, by the way. This is perfect. Now I'm excited. I'm hungry. This is really exciting to see. Now, the funny thing is, in our family, we don't actually have a lot of pictures of food. Not like today. We didn't take pictures of everything we ate. So I was really surprised in doing this when I found my favorite recipes, and yet I couldn't find any photographs to actually include. So that's why I did put the card in. And then I would include things. So this is one of my favorite. I love a chocolate fudge pound cake. So I put a picture of this is me when I was 1. So I did incorporate family photos that way as well. So super excited about these. These just look delicious. And again, let's see what else. There are lots of pies in here. This is that kind of recipe. So this is actually a really favorite recipe. Super simple, super easy, speedy. What's it called? The speedy pie. But if you look at that card that I put here, it's very worn. It has lots of stains on it. And so this was one of the favorite recipes. And one my dad told me about as well. Not a lot to it, but that's the way my mom cooked. All right, guys, this is absolutely beautiful. And I am thrilled to have a recipe book that I can now tell and share with the family. All right, so seeing my family recipes in print like that in a book form, it really makes it feel very real. And I can't help but every time I look at those recipes, those individual recipes, as I've been thumbing through the book, to really have more and more memories that kind of get sparked in my brain And I write down questions to ask other family members about and know that I want to share the stories with other family as well. Now, if you would like to learn more about pulling family history and your culinary heritage from old family photographs, then watch the video on your screen now, Interpreting Family History Through Vintage Photographs.